Hey everyone, good afternoon. I wanted to touch base with you, do a quick video after I had to cancel our week 6 Zoom meeting last night. First of all, I just want to say thank you for your patience and understanding. Received that call, had a death in the family, was on the road yesterday evening, was unable to get access to Zoom and my computer to do the meeting. So, as I mentioned in my email to you guys, I will be available next Thursday. If anybody needs to hop on, just to kind of make up for a live Zoom session to kind of make up for week 6. I'm gonna go over everything in the video that I'm making here today. Just to kind of touch base and make sure we're all together and on the same page as we are entering into or started module 2, which covers week 6, 7, and 8. So I'm doing a screen share. You should be able to see my screen at this time showing module 2. Module 2 is fairly short. It's 3 weeks out of this entire class. So it started this week. The week is September 22nd through the 28th. So if you'll see your readings this week from Prater are chapter 6, 7, 8, 9, and then Burns is chapter 1, 2, and 3. So I'd like to quickly go over just some things after we venture away from the syllabus that I wanted to cover is basically the differences between some accommodations and interventions. And then just making sure you know where the iris models are. There are 3 parts to that. I would really encourage you to explore that and look at it this week in the meantime before we meet again. So this week, you'll notice you have one item due. It's due Sunday evening, the 28th of September. It is teaching reflection number 2, group discussion board. So please make sure you can get that in. That is the 28th. And then looking forward to week 7 and 8. You'll see also we're going to be covering, or in the module, it covers tier 1 resources, tier 2, 3 resources, which I'll show you that and go over it briefly on this Zoom recording. Looking forward to Sunday, October the 5th, which is 2 weeks coming up. You'll have praxis quiz number 3. And then the following week to end module 2 is you'll have another practice quiz for the praxis, which will be quiz 4, and then your discussion response number 3 over evidence-based practices. And then we'll be meeting following that for the beginning of module 3 on Zoom. So I want to remind you too, if you've taken your praxis, you passed it, you have your results, please get those to me so I can go ahead and give you points for the remaining quizzes, and then also log in your final exam test score, which will um, prevent, make it to where you don't have to take it. You'll be exempt. So just kind of wanted to go over that in the syllabus quickly. I'm going to do a stop share on that and go over to our module 2 tab, which you'll see covers week 6 through 8. I just covered the readings, what we have. Again, it shows it here in this folder in Module 2. The iris modules are here. Again, I would challenge you to explore those. You'll see it's part 1, 2, and 3. They're evidence-based practices, gives you some good information there. We have also folders with our Tier 1 resources that are available. There are some documents there. It gives you some suggestions, ideas for tier 1 resources with some documents that are attached. Someone challenge you to explore those tier 2, 3 resources. Again, additional documents that are attached that are focused more on those tier 2 and 3 level interventions and services. Have a website field trip. A couple of those. One of them is What Works Clearinghouse, also Intervention Central. I use that a lot when I'm doing testing and developing my comprehensive report to come up with some interventions and things that can be implemented, suggestions and ideas. So I just kind of wanted to share that with you. I'd like to get back up to, if I can find it here. Yeah. So looking at the kind of the lecture material, just kind of wanted to make sure you knew where this was at, difference between accommodations and interventions. And so if you're looking at a multi-tiered system of support, or MTSS, or another term that we are familiar with is RTI, response to intervention, basically provides 3 levels. Tier 1 is for the general education setting, basically whole group in a classroom. Those are accommodations and interventions. So those supports should happen in that general ed classroom setting. Students in Tier 1 will be getting some accommodations to instructional assessments or any of the assignments, activities that may be going on, the same as all students in the classroom would. So when we talk about accommodations, accommodations basically mean the teaching supports that are needed so the student can demonstrate that they have learned successfully. These may include any adjustments to the learning environment or adjustments to the delivery instruction that promotes learning. So we may have to change up our methods of instruction, okay, or we might need to make an adjustment in the learning environment itself. Also, basic curriculum is not necessarily changed through an accommodation, but it could include extra time for assignments would be an accommodation, possible reduced length of the assignment, or help with reading orally, or use of manipulatives such as graphic organizers, study guides, written notes, or the use of technology. So helping a gen ed teacher set up a classroom following university design principles and providing those accommodations. So one thing we need to consider is that many students with high disability or high incident disabilities will need specific accommodations to be supported in that Tier 1 classroom. Next thing I want to look at is interventions. A little bit of a difference between accommodations and interventions. Interventions can occur in Tier 1, but they often occur for all students and not just students in our IEP. So an intervention is instruction. So an example for Tier 1 would be class-wide peer tutoring, something that's happened with the entire class. So that's Tier 1. If we look at Tier 2 and 3, those supports either happen in what we consider the gen ed classroom, and it could be small groups of instruction, or in the special education setting. Students that are receiving those Tier 2 and 3 supports will be getting what we call supplemental and targeted interventions, in addition to the instruction that they're receiving through Tier 1. Okay, so we're just kind of going a little bit, a few steps further, and we're kind of narrowing those groups down in Tier 2 and 3. It could be some small group instruction for Tier 2, and then once we get into that Tier 3, it's more one-on-one. Interventions under Tier 2 and 3 would be in addition to, but not replace Tier 1 instruction within that level 2 and 3. Interventions are supplemental and explicitly target the student's IEP goals. So remember that. Those Tier 2, 3 will specifically target the student's IEP goals. So to intervene simply means to come in between, to alter the course of events. So for students with high incidence disabilities, we must intervene in order to ensure that they make adequate gains they need to close their academic, social, or behavioral gaps, whatever their situation might be. Interventions could be described as a set of teaching procedures. They may also be packaged curricula that we purchase. Some examples are language that would include Lindamood phoneme sequencing, iStation, or accelerated math. Those would be just a few examples there. They may also be explicit instructional practices you use to teach, such as collaborative groupings, modeling, having the students model, could be guided practice, or even something simply as reader's theater. One thing you want to consider, they need to be evidence-based. And I know we've been looking at that. You have in your readings. We've got some discussion board activities coming up on that. So we need to look at interventions that are evidence-based, meaning that they have been researched, vetted, and they have been proven to show or have a potential to help students close those gaps, whether it's an academic gap, a social gap, or a behavioral gap. Okay, so just kind of wanted to cover that. That's really the focus of Module 2 in week 6, 7, and 8. So I'm going to exit off of that. Again, I really want to encourage you to look at the IRIS module accommodations. There is some valuable information in there. There is parts 1 through 3. Again, as I mentioned that. Also look at the documents that we have attached under Tier 1, those general ed resources, and also Tier 2 and 3 that's a little bit more specific. And then again, visit the website Field Trips. You have a What Works Clearinghouse, gives you some great resources there. And again, Intervention Central, I like to use this specifically on a personal note, provides some great interventions and suggestions for those interventions based on that student's need. So again, just wanted to do a quick touch base video to just kind of make sure we're all together. Again, remember the things really coming up that are due is that you have the peer group teaching reflection number 2 coming up this Sunday. And then after that, the following assignment that would be is a discussion board based on those evidence-based practices on October the 12th. So again, we're still the way this class is set up, the full 16 weeks moves at a lot slower pace compared to those 8-week courses. So if you have any questions after review this video, please reach out to me. Again, remember, I will make myself available on next week on Thursday at our regular time. It's not a have to or necessary that you join. Okay. If you feel good and don't really necessarily have any questions, you won't need to hop on, but I will make myself available at 6 o'clock. Stay on there, see if anybody has any questions or needs clarifications for that. Something else to be on the lookout for. I've had some questions coming through. I'm going to push out a group email to you guys or a group message about going in and completing the application for program completion. That is in Workday. Okay, it's that time that you need to go ahead and get that submitted now for the upcoming end of the semester. Okay, guys, if you don't have this in, it's going to affect graduation. So I don't want anybody to get caught up in that. That is found in your Workday account. Another thing that I'll be sending to you is the link or email address that will take you to the Fort Hays website. So you can go ahead and register or sign up for the comprehensive exams. Even though your case study is what we score for that, you still have to go ahead and formally submit your information and complete that registration process. So I'll include a link on that. So watch your messages on Blackboard, and I will also click the box to where it will send it to your Fort Hays student email account as well. Okay, so please watch for that message and take care of those 2 small tasks so you can stay on target and everything at the end of the semester when graduation comes is complete and you won't have any issues there. So again, please email. Let me know if you have questions, and thank you guys for the messages you sent last night regarding the situation passing in the family. I really do appreciate that, and thank you for taking the time to send. That means a lot, and I really wanted you to know I appreciate it. So again, I hope you guys have a great weekend. If you have any questions, please email me, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you guys again. Have a good weekend.